Hey everyone. So yeah, if I were to describe this episode to anyone, it's essentially playing a game of keep away in only the most twisted ways One Piece can, or as the title even puts it, a game of tag, as only One Piece can do it. Like seriously, the fact I know I the, seriously I know I keep saying this every episode, but the fact that Queen so casually decided to play a game of 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 tag with the antivirus, the thing that could cure everyone afflicted with the Ice Oni virus, even his own men, shows what a despicable piece of shit he really is. Like honestly, one thing the anime is making me realize that I never really gave much thought to in the manga is that Queen is even more despicable than Kaido. Is like, don't get me wrong, with Kaido, when it comes to Kaido, like the big guy definitely has done some unforgivable shit. Don't get me wrong. Like I am not debating that one whatever. But even with every despicable thing he's done, there is kind of this weird little small. There's this weird sense where you can still sense that he does still have enough honor to respect a person's strength. Queen doesn't have anything resembling honor or respect, even for a person's strength, and it just makes it's one of those things where when you look at Kaido's brand of despicable and Queen's brand of despicable, it just it kind of just makes me wonder where Kaido even found this guy and what he even saw in him to let him join his crew. Especially now as someone like me who's read the manga and I've seen how Kaido met King, his right hand man, and just seeing that contrast of how Kaido was then to now, like I can only assume I can only assume I can only assume where I can only assume I can only assume wherever Kaido's descent into who he is now led him, it was enough for him to feel like it was justified in embracing Queen as like as an eventual crew member and just embracing what he represented. Like I'm it's I've got no yeah I it's really strange how I can kind of respect. It's kind of strange how both are despicable, but how both are evil, but I can kind of respect Kaido more than I do Queen. It's like, oh man. Now, with that said, the pacing of this episode is kind of odd because on the surface level, it's pretty straightforward. As I said, One Piece style game of tag, and that does lend the episode itself to an entertaining enough scenario to fill an episode. But there would be moments here and there where it feels like the whole episode would just kind of like freeze in time or come to a halt just to kind of remind us what's going on or who has the vial. And granted moments like that are few and far between in the episode itself, but when they do happen, the pacing feels off. Like even though it should be like even though like a lot of what was done in this episode a lot of what we see in this episode should actually be serving the opposite purpose of moving should be serving the opposite purpose of moving the story forward. The moments we get at the beginning of this episode feel like they kind of bring it to a crawl, weirdly enough, and the moments that we should feel like the pacing has slowed to a crawl, like the moments with the Straw Hats in this episode, feel like the more interesting parts. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, and maybe those moments are obviously helped by some character moments, especially from Zoro and Chopper. But still, it's an odd dichotomy with this episode in terms of pacing. Although I do gotta say, Queen making Pooh enemy number one by giving him the antitoxin is a lot more hilarious than I remember it being because just seeing Apoo being put into this life or death scenario just feels so fucking satisfying. Like what happened to Apoo in this episode? It feels like the sweetest form of karma coming back to bite him in the ass for betraying Kid. And honestly, I kind of love it. Like, and you know what? I'll say another thing. Toei, Toei, anything you can do in order to kind of anything you can add in order to kind of show Apu getting his ass beat a lot more here in the anime, even more, anything you can do to add to Apoo getting his ass beat, that would be greatly welcome. Not gonna lie, like just get. I don't care if it slows the pace. As weird as it is to say, I'd actually kind of welcome shit like that. Seeing Apoo like get like just continuously getting pursued, trounced, whatever. I want to see more of Apoo getting his ass beat. Like it gives me life right now, just from what I've seen in the manga. Um, After that, though, we switch back to Yamato, where we get a glimpse into the events of the past from from her perspective, and yeah, this is the start of what I was talking about, where the goofy tone that's initially set up with her character of calling herself Odin and whatnot does start to take shape here as we see she truly respected and admired Odin and the Akazeya to the point where she took it upon herself. Like you can see, she took it upon herself to become Wano's protector in any way possible, and just giving her overall perspective on what happened to become the person she is today, which in itself also gives us just how shows us just how deep the rift in the relationship between her and Kaido really is as of now. Like with like and how much Yamato kind of outright hates the fact that her father like threw such a peaceful land into outright chaos by killing the very person who helped preserve that peace. Now, granted, it does kind of show that if one person was helping preserve the peace, then I guess it must have not been very peaceful to begin with. But yeah, just the fact that it shows just what it is that drives her and why she hates her father so much. And the scary part, and yet the scary part is everything I've just mentioned are only the surface level details we're seeing. Like if you've read the manga, you'll know the hatred that that Yamato feels for what Wano has become, what her father has done to it. It goes even deeper than that, and it's something I'm personally waiting. Like Yamato's backstory is something I'm personally waiting to see animated, but I like how in the end, like you can almost see that even though they never met each other, you can still see in the end moments of the episode that Shinobu almost comes to this recollection, has this moment of recollection where she feels she's met Yamato before, even if they never officially met. And now we also see the battle between Kaido and the Akazeya is coming to a close. And honestly, this is where things get a little weird with Wano, because there are many, as you'll find going forward, there are many moments where I've had to remind myself of Oda's rule about death in One Piece, because beyond this point, One Piece really kind of skirts that line of believability in terms of just how close to death a lot of the Akazeya 9 are, and how many scenarios that do kill them don't. And this is especially true for Kinemon. This is especially true for Kinemon because Kinemon going forward, it's hard to talk about without giving away spoilers, but every time Kinemon looks like he's in a situation where he's going to die, he never really does. Like the follow through never really happens with it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping the anime can do something to fix this little problem I have, but we'll have to wait and see, honestly. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Twitter. It's Crunchyroll. Be sure to hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, everyone.